Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. This video is a kind of a final reveal first and then the craft with me after. This book is, I don't know if you guys follow me on my Facebook page, Coffee, Cake, and Crafting, but if you do, you guys will see I have made a post that said, do not craft with a sinus infection because I totally mathed wrong. I only had a certain amount of pictures and I needed to make the folio a certain way. Now, when I initially mathed, I drew it out correctly, but I didn't, I don't know what I did. Um, if you guys watch the craft with me, you could probably pinpoint. I know I was like, oh, I need to add pages because I think what happened was I didn't account that the waterfalls are double-sided when I was actually crafting. When I wrote it out, I did. But I was like, oh, that's only 5 pictures instead of 10. And so I added 3 extra pages onto my hinge. And I didn't even realize it until I started putting the pictures in. And when I started putting the pictures in, I already had everything done, right? The whole book was made. So, thankfully, my waterfalls, I did not matte the pictures. I just used the, the black flap as the matting. So I was able to use my undo, which this is awesome. You can go to undo.com and get a whole bunch of it, but you see I used a lot of it for this project because stuff was happening. Thankfully I used tape and not glue, but this is all the extra flaps that I have. That's my light I'm trying to get in here because I just completely mismathed. And I could have left them in there, but I didn't have enough pictures, and I don't think anyone else took pictures. I think I was the only one, so I just didn't want to have blank things. So you can't tell when I show you, when I open the book, you know, obviously I'm going to point it out to you guys, but my recipient is not going to know those 3 extra pages were oopsie daisies because they don't know what it's supposed to look like, right? Y'all don't know what it's supposed to look like because I could just sit here and just like, oh yeah, I made this page on purpose, but it was definitely an accident. Like, so you're gonna see pages like this that are just blank with no waterfalls because, like I said, I added 3 extra pages by accident. But here's the inside cover. I didn't do any pockets because each page is a pocket. Excuse me. So she can add, you know, journaling, whatever she wants in there. Extra pictures. If she did get extra pictures, great. You can put them there. She can put them here. The paper, I had 2 sheets of each paper from Hobby Lobby, and they didn't have any more when I went back, and I was like, okay, well, it's going to be waterfalls. Because her birthday party theme was bunnies, and it was on Easter. Well, it was the Saturday before Easter, and so that's why she went with that theme. And, you know, I didn't know I would be making the book, so I didn't get a bunch of paper. So I just got these 3 patterns. It was the eggs, the bunnies, and the, and they were out of it. So anyway, so second page, just waterfalls, and then more space to journal or add another picture. Same thing here. I just put this on with a little repositional tape runner so she can add a whole nother picture here if she wants to, or journal, you know, whatever. And it is, again, another waterfall, another space, and then a blank page. She can add a picture. Maybe on one of her cards, she can clip it in here or glue it down or, you know, whatever. I did some color blocking. I thought that was cute to kind of go with this little fun tricolor, quad color bunny. Again, repositional tape, another waterfall. This is like my favorite mini album because I love a waterfall. And I just realized I don't have a picture. What the heck? Huh. Okay. I do have other pictures here that weren't like the best quality, or I decided not to use, so I'll just fill that Okay, picture filled. And then this one here. And of course I put a big old picture of me. I had my little bunny ears and my I Heart Carrot shirt on because I'm making the book. So I get my own picture. There's my mom over here. You can't see her though. But she had a whole bunny suit on. Oh, there she is. So almost everyone had bunny ears and stuff on, so it was really cute. This was the kids watching fireworks, and then you know, just more pictures, more waterfalls. I absolutely love how this turned out. There's a ton of room for journaling. She can write, you know, oh, that one I didn't leave room. She can write the names of her guests, whatever she wants. This is a pocket page as well, the biggest page, and then just more room here. She can fit a whole card here, another card here, you know, but I didn't do pockets on the front and back cover. I didn't want pockets, to be honest. I mean, that's the honest answer. I liked it with the whole page, but I guess if I would have put pockets, she could put more cards and stuff in there, but yeah, I don't want pockets. I think it looks really good without the pockets, just clean. But that is the book. This is how it came out. And then I guess it is kind of a tutorial because I do show you what to do, and I will give you the measurements in the description box. So if you want to make you a thick 3.5-inch spine mini album that has 2 different size pages, feel free. Please tag me. I do not give you the measurements for the binding system because that is Kathy King's Paper Phenomenon Hidden Hinge Plus. I do not have the license to teach you that. So you have no measurements for the binding system, but you can use your own binding system, or you know, she has the Hidden Hinge for free on her channel, so you can do that if you want to, but I do not give you the measurements for that. But I give you the measurements for everything else. Alright, here's the tutorial. Alright, so I have everything written out where it seems like it's gonna make sense, but I don't know. So just come along and craft with me. We're gonna use a lot of paper, a lot of patience, and probably a lot of cuss words. I don't know. But hopefully it makes a lot of sense. And I don't even know how many of these I need because I didn't even write it down. So I thought I did write it down. See, this is how I figure stuff out. I need it. 59 divided by 12. I need about 5 pages, I think. I don't know. We're just gonna find out. Let's see. So 9 by 8.25. And I will probably have the measurements in the description box if this works out. If not, well, then you won't have measurements. I mean, logically, it sounds like it will work out. So I'm just cutting pocket pages, and so my length is 8.25, so I just cut my pages 9 by 8.25 because I want my pages to be 4.5 for my vertical pictures. So I'm just gonna do 3 sheets at that measurement because I think I need 5, but I gotta work this math real quick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this. I'm not worried about saving paper anymore. Everything goes in the recycle bin that I don't use. or it goes into a different project. One time, one of the local schools for the mentally challenged, they were looking for a bunch of just like scraps. I had like big, huge, nice chunks like this for them. They really appreciate it because they turn it into their own paper and like different stuff. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to do 3 at that measurement. And let me go ahead and cut all of my vertical things. So I need 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. And the person that's getting this is not a crafty person, and so she doesn't like a lot of like flips and flaps and stuff. She wants it to be all about the paper, or excuse me, the pictures. And so I don't do anything other than like waterfalls, because a waterfall still has that like interactive. You know what? I wanted white, didn't I? Well, everything's gonna be black now. A waterfall has that interactive element, but it's not complicated. Right? You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut all of my mats because I know I need all these mats. So I'm going to cut all of those. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's kind of boring, right? So I'm going to cut out, I need 59 vertical and 19 horizontal. So I'm just going to cut all those out now. Okay, so I have made all of my flaps. I needed 59 vertical and 19 horizontal. So it took a lot of paper. A lot of paper. But that's okay. So then well, here's all my flaps. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? This book's going to be heavy. So that's why I wanted to do the traditional cover and have it as a mini album instead of a folio. So I cut 4 pieces at the 9 by 8 1/4 and scored it at 4 1/2 on the long side. And I put a little piece of 1/8 of an inch tape here because I'm going to have these like pocket pages, and where you can, you know, tuck a tag in the top. So that's how it's going to close on the bottom, is with tape. It's probably maybe better with glue because tape obviously never dries and sometimes your stuff gets stuck in it. But I work with tape. So yeah, I did tape. And then for my last piece, my horizontal piece, I cut one piece at excuse me, 6 1/2 by 8 1/4, no score marks. And then I cut the second piece at 6 1/2 by 9 1/4, and I scored it at 1/2 inch on both sides, because I need that pocket, but obviously my paper's not wide enough to fold it in half. So that's just how you make a pocket out of a page that doesn't have a, you know, you can't fold it in half. You just add a thing on there. And now I do want it to be a pocket. You can add your 1/8 of an inch tape here. I will add glue just so you can see it. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're adding glue or tape. Actually, I'm not doing that. I lied to you, because my hinge needs to sit on that. So no, I'm not gluing my pocket shut. I forgot, because I need one side to open and the other side needs to go on my hinge. So we're not going to do that yet. Not just yet. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add all of my waterfalls to my paper. Oh yeah, this is going to work perfectly. So you'll see this one page right here. So what I was thinking, I know I'm all over the place. This is how my brain works. What I was thinking was I wanted to have like a piece of pattern paper, but then I would need two of these because I need the front and the back for my horizontal photos. But I could add a flap, like a folio flap, to cover that. And so when you open this up, you have these half pages. And when you get here, you have a flap to open. I might be onto something with that. We'll see. So I'm going to start adding my waterfalls on. But do I want to mat first? Do I want to mat first? That is the question. I kind of do want to mat. Yes, I do want to mat first. So I'm going to go ahead and mat these first. I'm probably just going to use a rainbow of solid paper because you're not going to be able to see anything except for like a little tiny piece. So let me mat these with different color papers and go from there. Okay, so I matted everything on like this really pretty rainbow paper, and I went ahead and I started putting my waterfalls on, and I realized that I should have did this by 8.5 and not 8.25, but I already have 3 pages completely done, so it is what it is. I'm not gonna obviously take all this off. I thought about it, I took the undo out, but I'm not going to do that because I had only put on 4 on each page, and I realized I need 5, and so I because I gave myself a border some of my paper over, but I don't think it's going to matter once I put it in the book, so I'm just not going to change that, and I'm going to be happy with it because it's a lot of work, you know, lining these up and whatnot. So excuse me. I'm just going to keep going. I did my horizontal ones first, actually, and they worked out perfectly. So, I don't know. I guess because I gave myself that tiny little border, because I can't help myself. But I also think that I missed at it because I wanted to put 10 on each. I think my thinking was 10 on the front and 10 on the back, and I'm only getting 5 on the front and 5 on the back. So I'm going to keep chugging along and see how many more pages I need, which that's not a, it's not a big deal. I can add more pages at any time. Nope. And I actually am going to quit for the night because I keep setting these down wrong, and I don't want a lot of this paper tearing. So, sometimes you just gotta, you know your limits, and it's late. So, it won't stop for you guys, because I'm just gonna put it on pause for the rest of the night. Okay, so I did miscount and had to add another page. So now I needed 7 hinges. I will not be telling you the measurements of this hinge system because this is my favorite hinge system, which is Kathy Ordeking's Paper Phenomenon Hidden Hinge Plus. I do not have the license to teach that, and I will not teach that at all. So, yeah, you'll have to figure it out yourself. But you can use any binding system you want. The regular Hidden Hinge is on her website for free. Or if you want this hinge, she has a binder book and tells you all kind of different bindings you can do. Oh gosh, my allergies are so bad. Anyway, in this case, we're doing the Hidden Hinge Plus, and so you only tape on the top part. And then we're going to add our pages. So if you remember, our big page had that sleeve that kind of goes all the way through. So you're just going to add that in and go from there. So let me pull a little piece. These pages are heavy because of how many pictures I'm putting on. I hope it's not too heavy when I add the actual pictures. Of course, I think about that when I'm pretty much complete. Alright. What's going on here? Get in there. This system, I still do it kind of slow because I want everything to match where it's supposed to match on the lines. And it's kind of hard to see. But with the plus, you do get a little tiny bit of leeway because if you go over that score line, you're okay. It's not going to be horrible. Any other time going over the score line is horrible. And then I'm just going to pick out a little bit of the back and just go on there. Okay. So that's our back piece. And it's good to go. So I'm just going to add all the pieces on there. And then I'm going to figure out how big my spine needs to be, which it looks like it's probably going to be a 3-inch spine. I don't know yet, but she's going to be thick. She's going to be chunky. But we love a chunky book. Alright, so I'm going to add my pages. And these ones are going to be a little bit easier to add. Actually, I'm going to add the back first. Because these ones I can just go right up against. How do I normally do this? I completely forgot, to be honest. I'm going to add the front on first. So I do have this little 1/8 of an inch tape. I think I just grabbed it before. It's to kind of just close the bottom of these pages. I almost forgot. Alright. I'm so used to making folios that I just completely forget minis. Like, this is Mini 101. But, yeah, I don't know. Alright, and then I'm just going to pick out the rest. Once you get one side, the other side is super easy because you just... That's it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and struggle through this and get that done. Okay, so I did get all of my pages on. They look beautiful. I have 7 pages, 6 of those half pages, and then 1 of the big one. I was going to do 2, but I didn't. I just did 1. So all the pictures I needed fit on, you know, the front and the back. It looks like my spine is going to be 3 inches. More than likely what I'm going to do is add Tyvek to the back of this spine so that way it's a little bit stronger because she's heavy. And I don't want my pages ripping out. So I probably add the Tyvek on and then I will do the spine and the chipboard. And I'm loving how this is turning out. Hopefully it's not too bad when I add the pictures in it. Because it is like 114 pictures, I think is what... No, I took some out. How many pictures are there? 78. 78 pictures. So that's what we're going to have in there. We're going to see if this works out because I love our waterfall. The person I'm giving it to, she just wanted the picture showcased. I might add in some pretty paper on the front of each one, only because when I did my birthday waterfall and the pictures were sticking to each other, when I close the page. And I know this has a 1/2 inch gusset, so we may not need that. So I will determine that. You guys will see that in a second. But I'm actually going to bed for the night. I know I said I was going to do that earlier, but then I decided to keep going. So anyway. Alright, 1 second. Okay, so I have cut my chipboard, and I decided my chipboard is going to be 7 1/4 by 8.5. Let me make sure, because I know I changed. Yep, 7 1/4 by 8.5, and my spine is 3 1/4 inches. That's what I decided I'm gonna do. But first I was adding my Tyvek, and I just wanted to just kind of show you how I add my Tyvek. Normally I would have added it before I put the pages, but honestly I forgot. And most of the time my albums aren't this heavy, but I feel like this is going to be super heavy, and I don't want my spine to tear anywhere, especially on my hinges. I think the weight is going to be good with the Hidden Hinge Plus system. I'm hoping it will be fine. But I know with the Tyvek glued to the back, it's not going to tear, because Tyvek doesn't tear. But the most important thing, and I learned this from Kathy King, I want to give credit where credit's due. When you're putting your Tyvek on, you do not want to pull your spine tight. Because if you look at it, it's like a little wavy. You want that movement. If you pull your spine tight, it's going to make your pages tight, and it's just not going to lay flat or do right. And so because I forgot to put it on before the pages, what I have done is just kind of piece by piece take the backing off and then just gently roll it on. So that way it has the natural movement. None of my pages are tight. Everyone is laying as flat as they can. I wasn't expecting complete flat because my pages are different sizes, and you know I have waterfalls, and so it's going to be flat enough, but it is a bulky book. Now what I should have done, and I'm literally just thinking about it right now, is I should have made it to where it cascaded like this, so each of my hinges should have been a little bit longer, and then it would have laid completely flat. But I just now thought of that, and my book is already pretty much done, so we're leaving it as is. Okay, now my last one, and this one I'm just gonna kind of do the same. Roll it on in there. That way I know everything is laying flat. It is a little annoying with the waterfalls already on, but what are you going to do about that? I forgot. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and make sure everything is pressed in nicely. Okay, keep going. And last one, which was the beginning. There we go. Now, we need to work on our chipboard, and I'm probably going to give this, since I have my Tyvek down, I'm going to give it a 1/4 inch gap in between, because that book is really thick and I don't want any breakage, which that's going to push my book and make it even longer. So do I want to, I may want to trim my cover in my back page, but right now, no. I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm going to get my piece of Tyvek, and I'm going to put Tyvek in between those. 1/4 inch between my pages. It scares me, but with Tyvek, it will be fine. So I'm just going to do oof, this is my chipboard cutter. Whenever you're doing chipboard, you're going to use one of your old blades. And, you know, the old blades aren't the best. Let me switch back out. I know you can't see anything. I'm just switching my blade back to my good one. I don't even know what measurement this was. Okay. I just want to clean up this edge a little bit. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my my chipboard onto my tie deck. I did purchase a little another kit thing. I already have one of these, but obviously I don't know where in the world any of my stuff is right now. So I just ordered this off of Amazon. It's like 10 bucks. It has a case. So I'm going to open this up and use this. Okay, so I have taped all the back of mine. Yes, I'm still a full coverage taper. I know the greats have proved us that we don't need all this tape, but it still makes me feel better. Also, I bought the score tape sheets, and I literally did not read that they were 6x6. For some reason, I thought they were 12x12. But it literally says it in the title and on the title on Amazon. But, you know, when you're not paying attention, that's what happens. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and take off, I don't know, just like, let me see how much. Let me place my spine down first. Some people still tape and glue. I just tape. And I zoomed out, so now you can see some of the snacks and stuff on my desk, but I didn't realize I was so far zoomed in. I am going to trim the excess off the top of my, what's it called, once I get this down. Alright. Roughly, oh, look at me being roughly 2 inches on either side perfectly. I didn't measure my tie back. I just kind of laid it on there and said, this will work. You want to make sure there's no overhang. And then I'm using, I think this is 1/4 inch. It's 2 millimeters, it says, or 2 millimeters. And if you do it this way, it's 1.5 millimeters. So I think this is 1/4 inch. It's just slightly less than 1/4 inch. This is my favorite measurement. More than 1/8 inch, but less than 1/4. So my favorite measurement is 2 millimeters. Oh, there you go. Now I know. I'm going to sound like put your chipboard 2 millimeters apart. Because now I know something. Look at that. Alright. Let me make sure this is varnishing. How you know if your tape is adhering is you should be able to pick it from any part and it peels up nicely. If it doesn't peel up, that means it's not adhered all the way to the chipboard or your paper, whatever it is. Alright, let's line this up. T-rulers are amazing. Okay. Alright. So there's that. I'm going to trim that off with my scissors. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to wrap this with paper or if I want to wrap it with P3 tape. So I'm just going to varnish this in and I'm going to think about that. So here's a funny thing. I completely forgot that I went ahead and taped up all my spines, my chipboard. You only tape it up so you can wrap it with the paper because you're going to lay this part flat on the paper. But then I decided to do P3 tape, so I did not need to do any of this work right here. I did not need to tape any of that up, but I did. And now it's going to be a pain because I need to lift it up to put my P3 tape down. And so my book is all taped up, ready for scrapbook paper, I guess. I mean, oof, I completely forgot about that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I still am going to continue with my P3 tape because I'm not going to waste that because that sells out all the time. And yeah, now I guess I'm just prepped for my outside pages. But I am going to finish working on this part to get my ready. Where are my little pieces? See, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this because I need to find my, oh, here they are. I have the little corner things. I like the corner things to tell you what you want. This did come with a corner thing. The pink binder things came with a corner thing. I just put it away already. So now I need to use these binder things. So, and this is another Amazon find. Do I need these? No. But it's just nice. Alright, so I'm going to work on my corners and get all this sorted out with these fancy tools I don't need, but I really like them. Anyway, let me finish this. And this is what it looked like for the Creature of Habit taping. I had to peel a little piece off of each of them so I can get my P3 tape in there. Yep. I'm such a creature of habit that I didn't think that through. And I just realized I just did not pull that tight enough, but that's okay. Alright. That's what happens when you're a creature of habit. And the other thing that I do that I know is a little different than if you watch Paper Phenomenon tutorials, how they do the P3 tape. I don't like the overlap. Does it matter? No. I just know it's there and I don't like it. And so I cut it off. I open it and cut it off. Again, it does not matter because you won't see it. I just know it's there. So I cut mine off. Weird, I know. Absolutely 100% weird and unnecessary. But that's what I do. Alright, I'm going to finish this and then I'm going to go pick out what paper I want. Okay, so I can't remember if I'm supposed to cover these or not. But I'm going to go ahead and place mine and not cover it. And I don't have any adhesive. I wish I would have... Let me see something here. Oh, I didn't put adhesive on that one either, so... Alright, I'm going to put all my adhesive down again. And go from there. Oh, but you know what? That will work really nicely because then I have a guide as to where I need my all I did was draw a line because I know my flap thing is one inch. So I just drew a 1 inch line and I'm lining up my T ruler here, and I just used a piece of Scotch tape and I taped it down. So what I'm going to do is use that as my guide to put my tape. So I know exactly where my folio needs to go. On the bottom anyway. I'm probably making my life so much harder because I'm trying to be perfect because this is for a gift for someone who Sorry, my head's in there. For someone who is, well, she's not a crafty person, but it's for my mom's boss, and they work at a sign shop, and so they know about, you know, lines and being straight and placing and all that. So, yeah. That's about right. You definitely do not need to be this precise. That's off anyway. But anyway, so I'm just gonna put my this. I probably should tape it on the back of here, huh? But it's just easier to do it on there because I went crazy and did all that. Okay. Okay, so I abandoned my T-ruler because it kept slipping, and what I ended up doing was just adding 1/4 inch score tape to the top and the bottom, and I will peel that off and put it right back on my score tape roll. It's not going to be a big deal, because I wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy with using the rulers because they slipped. And the other thing is I did not leave myself any room on this border, so I don't know how that's going to work out. When I close my book, because that page is right on that seam. I mean, it seems like it's working just fine, right? I had to use some undo on it because I just did not like the first placement I had, and I caused a huge, sticky, nasty mess. And yeah, and the 1/4 inch tape is working so much better. And if it doesn't easily peel off, I have undo, and I can undo it. I'm usually not this crazy over a book. I'm overthinking today. Today's just an overthinking day. And as you can hear, I'm still battling the sinus infection, and so it's like nothing I can do about it. And this one I might have put it in too tight. Oof. I thought I rolled it. I don't know where my seam is. The other one I did not have to worry about finding my seam because I put my page in the daggone seam. Alright, I just want to make sure this doesn't crack or creak or do anything it's not supposed to do. So this one has like a little 1/4 inch. This one is legit in the seam. It's like, there's my seam and there's my page. So, I don't know. This is still wet from the undo, that's why it keeps coming undone. But once that completely dries, I didn't have the patience to let it dry, I just wanted to make sure it worked. Okay, so now I just have to mat a couple of things and put all these 9,000 pictures in, and I am done. So look at how pretty that rainbow looks. I know on my computer screen it doesn't look like a rainbow, but it's a rainbow. It's not laying flat only because I did not leave big enough gussets for it to lay flat for the waterfalls. But I still think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm proud of this, my work. So I'm going to decorate it and let you guys see the final version. Okay, so I am so happy that I did my waterfalls with tape, because I over calculated how many I just was getting in the zone, I guess. And where's my little paper I wrote down? I wrote down that I only had 19 horizontal pictures, and so I only needed 10 flips, and I put 10 here and 10 here, so this is like 20. It's like 40 pictures would have fit on this, and I only had 19. So what I'm going to do is actually take all of these off on the back, and I can absolutely reuse them, because when you use undo, when you do tape, it comes off clean, and you can reuse it. So watch. And then all you have to do is peel. Did it waste all this tape? Absolutely, it did. But you know what? You can't cry over tape, right? And of course on camera it doesn't want to easily peel. Oh, I don't have the, where's the pilly thing? Here it is. It's just going to be cleaner without this on the back, because I don't think she has any other pictures, and so I don't want to leave these on. Oh, dang it. Yeah. Because I'm on camera, it's not coming off clean. You know how many of these I've already pulled off that came off, I mean, just clean? Anyway, look at this. Look how nice the rest of it's coming off. Anyway, so I know she doesn't have any other pictures. So I am going to take all these off. And now I'm going to have to figure out something to put over this. You know what? I think I'm going to put like a white piece on top where she can journal. Maybe with some lines or something. That's what I'll end up doing, because obviously I just ripped the paper. But anyway, that's when I'm going to take these off. But let me just kind of show you how I matted it. Here's the cover. Obviously I'm not done with it. I don't know what I'm going to do with the cover. So right now it's this. Her birthday party theme was bunnies. So that's why I picked these. Love the little plaid on the spine. And here's the back. The insides, right now I have purple, but I think I'm going to double matte with the plaid on top. Or I might add pockets. And then I added the plaid and the purple on the seams. I added the pictures. I think if I had a cut apart card, I would put that on there, but I don't. So I'm going to put some of the plaid paper and maybe a white space for her to journal. But the rest is just all pictures. So the pictures are the absolute focus, and not anything else. So, alright, that's it for this. Very easy, and I think it does look super cute, just like this. I know I said I might add a flap. Excuse me. Like, oh no, let me see something. I don't know. I know I said I might just add like a flap just so it kind of is like that. I don't know. I'm probably not going to do that, because honestly, I'm over it. And that is the absolute truth. But it is fun to have the different size pages. If I had more horizontal, I would probably do half horizontal, half vertical. I could have broken this down to 2 different books, but I wanted everything in one. And I think it looks great, and it sits nicely. You know, it's just a great focal piece. So anyway, thanks for crafting with me, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.